9 years ago, I had no idea I had a second act in me. I was a happy homemaker taking care of my husband and my 2 daughters. Then one day, I was on Facebook, and a girlfriend of mine posted a funny advertisement from the nonprofit Feel Your Boobies, reminding women, do your self-exams. Whatever crazy reason, it stuck in my head, and I did a self-exam that evening. I discovered a lump that turned out to be breast cancer. I was so fortunate in finding my breast cancer in the early stages that I was able to save my breasts, but more importantly, I was able to save my life. I went through 9 months of horrifying treatment. And during this time, I had this amazing community shower my family and me with acts of kindness. Meals were brought to our home for weeks at a time. People came out of the woodwork and they scrubbed our floors, did our laundry, chauffeured our kids, brought me flowers. I was the recipient of so many acts of kindness that it was life-changing for me. I knew I had to do something to give back to my community. Initially, I thought, oh, I'll do what someone else had done for me. I'll remind other women, do your self-exams. Excitedly, I put on the Feel Your Boobies t-shirt, and I walked out of my bedroom door to my daughters, who were 9 and 10 then. Their mouths dropped open, their eyes widened. Mom, they screamed, you can't wear that. I was puzzled. Why not? Boobies, Mom. I thought, I'll negotiate a little. Can I put a sticker on the car? Absolutely not, was their response. I couldn't do anything that would embarrass my daughters. And so I found a way to share the same message. And don't be a chump, check for a lump was born. This is where my second act really began. Of course, I had no idea the monstrous test of courage I had just placed myself in. It was funny, during treatment, everyone kept telling me how strong I was, how courageous I was. I didn't feel courageous. It's not like I challenged breast cancer to a duel and said, come on, I'll take you on. My diagnosis came out of left field. I was 39 years old with a husband and 2 daughters. I didn't have a choice but to take any and all treatment offered to me. I had to take it for them. I did have a choice in starting my own nonprofit, and that took courage. Now, you might think my courage is misplaced, but had you known me 9 years ago, you would think differently. I have been painfully shy my entire life. I've experienced social anxiety since I was a little girl, and it filled me with fear. Fear of being noticed, fear of rejection, fear of ever having to speak in public. Everyone said I would burst out of my shell, but I never did. As an adult, I still felt like the awkward little redhead with pigtails, freckles, and a bad sunburn. I obviously wasn't this natural-born leader, but after my cancer journey, I had a deep, deep passion to give back. It was almost as if God spoke to me and said, Holly, this is your purpose. Go, share with the world. And there were so many moments of fear that paralyzed me from pursuing this path, but God kept giving me signs. Holly, pay attention. Go, share. And let me tell you, when you have God speaking to you, and then you think he's yelling at you, well, you listen. This meant I was going to have to stand up and speak. I would have to ask my entire community to rally around me to get my nonprofit up and running. I would have to share my story, my joy, my pain, my tears, everything in public. And so I dug in deep. I faced my fears. I pushed my boundaries. I looked towards women in my community who were outspoken and gracious and who I deeply admired. I observed them, the way they engaged people, their body language, their presence. And then I practiced modeling them. I would walk into a room with a smile, a forced smile, but nonetheless a smile. Then I initiated conversations with women I didn't know. And next, I made the giant leap and I placed myself in front of large crowds of people to share my journey, my passion, my purpose. And I stood trembling before people, my voice quivering, my hands shaking, my legs wobbling. And I couldn't help but share my tears too. And oh my gosh, I was horrible and humiliated. But I went right back out there and I did it again and again and again. My second act started out as a simple call to action. Don't be a chump, check for a lump, to remind women to perform breast self-exams and timely mammograms. And as I immersed myself in the breast cancer community, I discovered that women were going without wigs during their treatment simply due to lack of funds. Unfortunately, most insurance companies do not cover the cost of a wig. This was horrifying to me. Having gone through all of it, I can tell you there's nothing pretty about pink when you are told you have breast cancer and you have to go through chemotherapy and you're gonna lose your hair and be completely bald. A woman losing her hair is not simply a matter of vanity. It is so much more than that. It's often our identity as a woman, wife, mother, sister, friend. It's everything. I can definitely attest to this. Losing my hair was the most devastating side effect of my treatment. And again, it wasn't vanity. It was the fact that my youngest daughter wouldn't hug me if I wasn't wearing a wig. And it wasn't because she stopped loving me. I just didn't look like mommy anymore. I looked like the face of cancer. I scared her. I was fortunate that I could afford to walk into a wig shop and pick out a beautiful wig, one that looked exactly like me, like mommy. As a result of knowing the emotional devastation that's caused by losing one's hair, we started our extremely innovative wig program to assist breast cancer patients with free wigs. It's like no other in the state. It is not a wig bank. Our clients can walk into a normal wig shop, select any wig of her choice up to $250, and we pay the bill. So she can look like herself. Since our inception, we have assisted over 1,100 women with a free wig. And we're now providing nearly 1 woman a day with a wig. With support from our community, Don't Be a Chump, Check for a Lump has grown from a tiny grassroots nonprofit to a prominent figure in the breast cancer community. We now offer a comprehensive education program that is reaching thousands and thousands of women, and we're saving lives. We have started, grown, and sustained our wig program. We have been able to initiate a mammogram program to help break down the financial barriers for women in need. We have assisted over 100 women with free life-saving mammograms. We have become the go-to for breast cancer information, prevention, and direct assistance in Arizona. In pursuing my second act, I found out what courage meant for me. It meant to be afraid and yet still walk into the darkness. It meant to fall and be utterly humiliated, but to get back up again not knowing the outcome. It meant to be vulnerable and to be okay with that. I'm still scared to death, even now after 8 years of practice. Yet surprisingly, I'm known for being an inspiring speaker, a great speaker. No one would know I suffered from shyness. For me, the old adage really is true. Fake it till you make it. I stand before you now, still afraid, still with red hair and freckles. But I'm sorry. God placed me upon my second act With his help, hard work, and an amazing community supporting me, Don't Be a Chump truly has made a difference in the fight against breast cancer. I will continue to follow my second act courageously with all my heart and soul. Thank you.